Welcome everyone to another episode of Sass and the Beard. It's gonna get heated here tonight, folks.
Took the wall down.
Man versus bear. Like, we are Team Bear here at Sass and the Beard. For those of you who have no idea what we're talking about, that's totally okay. Just get on TikTok. You'll find out
Search it
some
on
stuff.
TikTok before they ban it.
Yeah, and if you are within the state of Arkansas and you enjoy watching Mr. Rogers, you should probably watch anything on PBS before.
Look, if you enjoy, I don't know, having access to 911,
right?
Maybe it should matter. Mm-hmm. We're gonna talk about a lot of things today.
There's a lot of stuff that our producer may need the bleep button for this week.
Guaranteed.
We're just getting her ready.
Warm it up.
So Kristen,
I'm gonna try to surprise her with them though and see if I can beat them.
Right? Will she catch the delay?
I'll be really calm, and then I'll be like, fuck.
Okay. So it's gonna be a great show.
I forgot about the delay.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I don't think it works like that. I think it still happens.
I can see your arm when it happens.
Yeah. Okay, so before we go on, we want to thank Plant Parlor, who provides the lovely Golden Ass trophy for our show.
They actually provide plants, but
lots of plants.
When we're in charge, this is about as good as it gets.
We are definitely promoting them for the the planters, not so much the plants.
I mean, the plants are great.
Right.
It's not in our care.
Right. If you put a plastic plant in there.
Oh, I can keep those alive.
It'd be awesome. I would keep dust off of them. They would look beautiful for a long time. So go to Plant Parlor. They are now downtown on B Street. They are a wonderful place. We are so happy they're downtown. They have been a sponsor of ours for quite some time, and we appreciate their support. So, Kristen, we are, it's springtime. People like to do spring cleaning during springtime.
Yeah.
And every year, twice a year, the city and the county, they try to encourage the citizens to kind of do a bulk waste once or twice a year on specific dates. Mm-hmm. And they front load the citizens with the date. And they also front load the county officials and the city trash management company.
Yeah, I'm over in Dardanelle. We have something similar. Ours is always on spring break.
Right.
But because, most people are a lot of people are doing things over spring break. It's like spring break is the official pickup week for big items.
Right.
Because you can just put them out by the road. But the week before that is drive around and yard sale.
It's free yard sale. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just you see people just cruising around loading stuff up. So it's like a 2-week festivity in Dardanelle.
Well, so, the city's been having trouble with waste management.
No.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about that, Nathan.
Yeah, I don't even...
Do you ever get calls about that?
I don't even know if I could tally the amount of phone calls and emails that I've had since January.
Look, I'm getting tagged in them now. I'm on city council, and I don't even have anything to do with this.
Yeah, it's literally...
They're like, Kristen, Nathan, and Mayor Teague, do something about this. I'm like, I can do nothing.
We're in the hundreds at least right now.
Oh, I believe it.
Which is a lot of calls and communications about a single issue.
Yeah.
So much so that, I'm thinking about going and buying a tent and posting up in Waste Management's parking lot and being like, who else wants to protest?
Is it time for a protest?
Seriously, this is some BS. Some bullshit, okay?
Oh, she got it. I thought maybe if Nathan did it, it would make it through.
So, we don't really have, the city doesn't really have a solution right now. They are working on solutions, meaning, at some point we're going to get a new contract approved and a new provider, or a different provider, or maybe the same provider. We're going to bid out the provider with new rules, but this contract isn't up until the end of the year. So if you got bulk trash in your yard,
So if you're on Russellville's trash between now and the end of their contract, you'll at least get picked up once.
At least once. Waste management should be able to come to your house to pick up your bulk trash. I did speak with the mayor about this because it is an issue. People just having like trash out in their yard.
Yeah, there's like weeks of it
because
that
it
hasn't been
rained
picked up.
and
Yeah.
and so we are considering looking at like what it would take if the city came out, but really like if we do that, then that just gives
Yeah.
waste management an excuse to be like, well, the city will just pick it up if we don't, and we don't want to do that because again, we're paying this company.
And so are all the residents.
Right,
paying
the
this
residents
company.
are
Yeah.
paying this company to do a job that they are not doing very well. So
Yeah, that is really frustrating.
we are working on solutions. It's just, I understand your frustration, and please continue to message and call us about your issue because that's why we were elected, is to deal with that. You're not offending me by messaging me. I'm having the same problems, so I understand 100%.
Well, it's kind of my motto about local politics is that, if you get 10 of your friends to cyberbully the mayor or your elected city council member, you can get some shit done. And so this is that time. Like, embrace it, but quit tagging me. I can't
Like Kristen can't do anything.
I mean, you can tag me, but I can't do anything about it. I'm just going to tag Nathan if you didn't tag him to begin with.
Okay, so that
That's the city's
that
bullshit.
kind of sums up the stuff at the city, yeah.
I didn't get beeped.
I at this point the beep is just for fun, I think.
She's sitting there with her hand on the beep.
So next we need to talk about speaking of getting beeped, there is some bullshit going on in the state legislature.
All right. So, do you hate Big Bird?
No.
Do you hate Mr. Rogers?
No. Daniel King Tiger.
He didn't even say it. He bleeped himself. Because he's talking about kid stuff. He's really good at that.
Will teach your children how to regulate their emotions. We'll teach them how to share. Well, even potty train them. Like, you don't even need to teach them those
You don't
things.
need to parent
Just
anymore.
turn on
Just turn on
PBS.
PBS, yeah. Well, luckily, that's still the case in Arkansas, but just barely. Because today, so the Arkansas legislature has been meeting for the fiscal session where they decide the budget, do all kinds of stuff. But it's really just focused on budgeting, right? And then and that's in odd numbered years. I'm sorry, an even numbered years.
Yes.
And then in odd numbered years after the election, they'll do a legislative session,
Right.
where they make all kinds of laws.
Right. Which I've never understood. I mean, I understand why they do it that way, but I don't understand why they do it that way. Why not just be year-round legislators and do both at the same time?
I could tell you the answer to that. But first, let me tell you what.
Because it's definitely not living up to the state motto of Arkansas,
which is.
Regnet
I'm
Populous.
so proud of you. It means that people. He just brought that up because he finally knows it.
I've said it like 100 times.
Look, it's the first time. No. And it was just because Emily had a cheat sheet for us behind. Yeah. That's how it happened. So, anyways, today they're doing some final. Tomorrow's going to be the last day. They're going to adjourn tomorrow from fiscal session. They've been there for about 3 weeks. They did some stuff to regulate. They're doing some stuff to regulate crypto mining, which I think is a good thing. It's kind of a weird.
We're going to talk about
the way they're
that,
going
yeah.
about it is kind of hilarious, but I was sitting there watching today. I really just kind of had it going on in the background, while I was working on some other stuff, and I hear them start talking about PBS, like AETN, which is like the Arkansas Educational Television Network, right? That's what AETN stands for,
Yes.
and it is largely funded by state funding. About half of its budget is made up from state funding, and it has become a target of certain Republican legislators. And so today, the House actually voted to not fund it again. And it just sort of slid through. And it just like happened. And so like there were other legislators coming up and saying like, hey, no, we have to, I know there's people that got issues, but we have to fund this because the PBS infrastructure is really like a vital part of our emergency services structure in Arkansas.
Yeah, it's not just like kids' TV shows. Like it does a lot more than that.
The emergency alert system you get on your TVs every week, the antenna tower. Like, what am I looking for? The towers.
For
like
tornadoes and 911.
So, all of that stuff is. And Quiz Bowl was on it.
Right, they do a lot of
actually, they brought that up because
television.
apparently Quiz Bowl had to pay for it, and they're very offended. But more than that, they're offended that gay people exist on PBS occasionally. And so they voted today to defund it.
The Quiz Bowlers?
No.
Oh, the state legislature. Okay, yeah, no, I could that tracks. Okay. I was like, why would Quiz Bowl people be mad that sometimes gay people are on television?
The legislature was upset that Quiz Bowl had to pay to be on.
Okay.
And the legislature is also upset that gay people exist on PBS.
I'm not surprised at anything that people are mad about.
I would have been surprised
today.
at the Quiz Bowl people being mad at gay people. Like that would have taken me. But but that's not what we're talking about. So so they just it happened really fast. Like I texted one of my colleagues and I was like, did they just vote to defund PBS? And he was like, I think so. And as we were like digging, trying to like figure out what had just happened exactly, they said, we're going to take a 5-minute recess and we'll be back. And
I bet they did.
When they came back, they were like, y'all, you got to pass this bill. Because if you don't, we're going to end up back here to deal with it in a couple of weeks. Because we can't just cut their funding. Like, we can't do this.
No.
And so they re-voted. It barely made it through today, which means that most likely in the next legislative session, we're going to see a lot of these lawmakers attacking PBS and AETN. Like, this is something that started a couple of cycles ago, probably 4 or 6 years ago with Jason Rayford, if you remember him, the delight from Bigelow that he is, that...
And now he's like a lobbyist for some...
No, now he's on the state library board.
Oh, yeah, he is, because he wants to get rid of books and burn them. Gotcha.
Although that's been pretty entertaining to watch, because I think he's in the minority there, because he's made a couple of really crazy motions, and they failed without a second. And
it's just librarians who are like, shh.
It's all a bunch of like little sweet-looking older women who were just like... They're just like nobody makes a motion to second it, and they'll just be like... Thank you for that motion. Like, they're so sweet. I mean, he's just sitting there like...
there's no talking right now, honey.
Because he's like, I move that we defund libraries if they say anything that we don't like. Actually, it was if they sue the state or are involved in any type of, like, lawsuit, like, that they would prevent them from getting funding. And it's like, well, they're suing because you want to put their librarians in jail.
Right. For, like, having books there.
Yeah. So anyways.
Yeah, like, I want to say something about the budget, okay? Mm-hmm. Right, like, obviously, at the state of the government, like, leadership right now, they're not really keen on, like, increasing the budget because they want to lower the tax. Like the intake. They want to decrease intake.
Yeah, they talked about that a lot today, that if you want to decrease taxes, you're going to have to start making cuts. And PBS was one of the things that they kind of put up as a justified cut.
Right. But
because who needs that access to education or emergency services?
So they're definitely not for like public money going towards like things that help people. Yeah, they would much rather just give tax breaks.
I mean,
which I'm not opposed to tax breaks necessarily.
There is one area though.
Right. So
that they are very excited to spend a lot more money.
For like all of this money that could go to like roads, could go to like make our like water treatment systems better, could provide better voting technology.
Don't talk to me about that.
You know what I'm saying? Like all this money that they're like, no, or public television. They're like, nope, we don't need that. That's socialism.
911.
Yeah.
Like tornado warning.
Right. All of those things. We're cutting. So they did increase the budget in some areas.
They did.
60% of the total increase in the entire budget. Where do you think that went?
Oh, I know exactly where it went, Nathan. It went to vouchers for private schools.
Vouchers. So vouchers. Like are they giving you a voucher
No, my kids go to
for
public
like
school.
food, or like for like paying your electric bill voucher?
No.
Or like if you need to get your car fixed? No. But they're giving private entities tax money
Yep.
because
Yeah, they didn't really increase funding for public schools. They didn't increase funding for public education where our students are at. No. They just really increased it for private schools, for vouchers. Yeah, what could go wrong?
$66 million. $66 million.
Oh, well, that's down because they'd originally proposed 90. So I thought it was still at 90. But okay. I believe you.
Well,
I
that was
haven't
the
fully kept up.
increase for vouchers. So the total may be 90.
Total probably is 90, yeah.
But the increase, they increased the voucher budget by $66 million. Imagine how much $66 million could do for PBS.
Well, that's...
They don't even need... Imagine how much $6 million would do
yeah, like
for
$5
PBS.
million will take care of PBS. They don't need that much.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's crazy. And we're going to see the repercussions of that here in Russellville. We've got, charter schools now looking to come in here. We've seen, in the public data around these schools that are getting voucher money, that a lot of these are not even based in Arkansas. They're like companies outside of Arkansas that are just setting up schools here. But the money is actually going to some like private corporation in Tennessee or Kentucky or whatever.
To set up a religious daycare for school-age children.
Yeah.
Is what we're talking about. It's not like they're going to hire. It's not like they're going to hire master's level teachers and pay them $75,000, $80,000 a year.
I know. I disagree. Like I don't think that it means that like the private schools aren't good schools. Like they may be very good schools.
There are good private schools.
Like my oldest kid went to a Christian school here in Russellville, and we loved it. She had a great education, but like we didn't get tax money for it.
Right. You had to pay it out of pocket.
Or get scholarship money or whatever, like fundraise for it. Like, I mean, it was the whole thing, right? And so, like, that's my thing. It's not that there's anything wrong with private schools. I have no problem with private schools. Like, that's great if that's where you want to send your kids. But, like, on your dime, right? Not on taxpayer money. But that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Yeah, so I don't think, I can't think of a single other thing in our state that needed more funding. Nothing else needed really any major increases.
Like maybe the public school system
or
could have used $60 million.
Infrastructure, broadband.
Yeah. Oh, broadband.
Healthcare.
No, the federal government took care of us on
Medicaid.
Broadband.
Yeah, no, that's not accurate. There's a lot of things.
We got a lot more money from the federal government for broadband than we did any other.
Things. Yeah, it's crazy.
So, yeah. What else is going on? Kristen, tell us about having to register to vote with chisel and stone.
Yeah, so this is wild to me. Okay. So, through my job,
yes,
we developed a online platform where you could fill out your voter registration form and go ahead and sign it online. We got verification from the Secretary of State's office that was valid, that those signatures were valid, that everything was good. And then
online voter registration. Such a novel idea.
Okay, it isn't actually online voter registration because we still at the end had to print out the forms and turn them in, right? Like online voter registration, it would go directly to the clerks and they would handle it, like there would be no middleman, which would be great. Like we would love that. But we don't have that. And so...
You still have to hand in a paper thing.
Right. And so like I'm a big fan of... like looking at the law and being creative. And so I went to vote in November of 2022 and I signed my poll book electronically, right? Like you go vote here. You don't sign they don't pull out a big ass paper poll book anymore. They've done that in a long time.
It's a little,
you sign a little,
like you do the credit card at the restaurant.
It used to be like a little pad and now they've upgraded, which is like a big iPad and you just do it with your finger, with stylus, whatever. And there's no process in that where they like compare.
Right, because that's definitely not as accurate of a signature as it would be.
Well, it's just not part of the system.
Right,
And so,
yeah.
like, what they do to verify your identity is you have to show your ID when you vote, right?
Right.
That's always the case.
Yeah.
And it should be, right? Like, I don't have any problem with reasonable voter ID laws. Like, that's,
Yeah,
you know, as long as they're not crazy, overly restrictive.
Yeah,
And
like,
they're not.
I don't
in
want
Arkansas.
dead people voting. Like that's
Right.
the thing.
Nobody
Yeah.
wants that. Like,
It's
and
not a
it's
thing.
not a thing that exists. Oh
Yeah.
my God. But anyways, so that was in February of this year when we started, and we got confirmation from the Secretary of State's office. Well, then he changed his mind, and he was like, you know what? Actually,
So
not.
he just was like, no, sorry.
he was like, actually, not a fan. Not a
Yeah.
fan.
That might make it too easy for people to vote.
Right. And I mean, he's on the ballot this year. He's running for a special election for
Right.
treasurer. So
And he needs way less people to vote.
yes, that's
Yeah.
very good for him because
Yeah.
listen, nobody likes that man. He's obnoxious. But anyways, so he asked. So then after that, because this seemed very unclear, he asked the attorney general for an opinion on this, and the attorney general came back and said, "Yeah, electronic signatures,
It's great.
totally fine. Constitution covers them. State law covers them. Really not an issue." Oh, holy shit! The Republican attorney general agreed with us, right? Don't bleep that. No, I'm just kidding. But we were like pumped, right? It's
Yeah.
like, oh my God.
Like win
so-
for the Gipper.
Right.
Yeah.
And so then we start to see clerks who had previously been like, oh, I'm just not sure if I can accept
Right.
them. I really don't know. Like, I don't want to get in trouble. Like, they start going, oh, well, if the attorney general's on board, like, yeah, we're on board. Great. So we start seeing more people accepting them. Well, that's fantastic. Loving it.
But then something
But
happened.
then we get word that the State Board of Election Commissioners is going to meet. They met last week. And they're going to have an emergency rule. And we didn't get to see this emergency rule till the day before the meeting.
It sounds like an emergency.
And
All these people that might want to vote.
And then they also have a declaratory order that they're going to run that so any citizen can request a declaratory order from the state election commission to clarify election law, right? And so this Republican election commissioner out of Pulaski County, former election commissioner out of Pulaski County, submitted this declaratory order, and I'm going to come back to this because it's kind of funny. But first, the state election commission decided that, like, nah, attorney general's wrong. It was funny because their executive director was like, well, AG opinions are nice, but that's all they are is opinions. And I'm like, somebody tell Sarah, because she asked for an opinion the same day from the AG, got an opinion the same day from the AG about her lectern gate purchase. And so that one was solid, but
Yeah.
ours isn't. I don't know.
Yeah. If it agrees with me, it's okay.
Shocking.
Yeah.
So we roll up to the election commission last week on Tuesday, and they pass an emergency rule to require wet signatures on voter registration applications, despite the
But
attorney
not
general
on the actual day of voting. They're still going to do the
No.
electronic.
Though still going to do the poll book, all that's still
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Just on voter registration applications. In fact, they actually passed rules earlier this year to say that if you receive an ID that's issued in a digital format, you can start to use a digital ID when you go to vote. Because some universities
like,
and stuff are starting to
this is
issue
my
like
phone.
digital IDs. And so so you don't get like a card anymore. So they're cool with being modern on some of those things. But when it comes to letting people register to vote,
This is the bad place.
they are not. They spent 19 minutes with no discussion and basically set Arkansas back to 1999, back prior to when we had the law that allowed for these electronic signatures.
Well, the 90s are definitely coming back. in style.
Well, apparently, but only if you like want to do it like with a dial-up internet and I don't know. But anyways, but then the other thing that they issued with that is that declaratory order that I mentioned, and that actually goes a little further, and in kind of a broad interpretation of it, says that really, even if you fill out a form with a computer process, like so you download the form and you use a PDF filler like Adobe, and then you print it and sign it, that even those might not be valid. That you may have to handwrite the entire form. And
That's a good question. Well, you have to have somebody to do
you
it
can have
for
somebody
you
do
if
it
you
for
can't
you, and they have to
write.
sign
Yeah.
their name on it. Yeah. But they said that. But then they said that, if that's the case, then none of the forms we submitted should have ever been considered valid, even though some of those people have voted,
Right.
even though they've been accepted.
Yeah.
And even though the law doesn't say that, never did, the attorney general said it doesn't, like all these different things, they just have decided. And so they changed the rules.
Can they decide that? Is it within their, I get that they're a commission, right? But a commission doesn't make authoritative decisions. They make recommendations.
Okay, that's
right? That's
different.
the definition of a commission.
That's a little different. So you're thinking of a commission kind of at the local level, which is similar.
Even in
They
the
have some-
committees,
They have some decision-making authority at the state level
Okay.
in committees, kind of like the Racing Commission,
Gotcha.
right? We're
Yeah,
more
yeah,
familiar
yeah.
with
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
So the Racing
yeah.
Commission can promulgate rules
yeah.
for the process.
But they still have to follow certain
laws.
they have to
follow
be within the Constitution,
right? Or they
Yeah.
get pulled through court.
Right.
Well, that's the same thing here.
So there's
Right.
something
So-
opposed to the Constitution.
So if
in
they
this?
do
Okay.
something opposed to the Constitution, then the judicial branch is there for accountability, right?
Saved by the 1800s.
And that's the whole point of shit like this is that they want to they want to drag it out, tie it up through this election
Right.
cycle, get people confused, kick people off the rolls. And the thing is for us it may be, a few hundred people, but today I met with a national organization that does a pre-filled voter registration form for people in Arkansas that they can print and sign. And they said, since they've been doing that, there's at least 90,000 people that they've had fill out those forms. And so we don't know how far this is going
Right.
to go. I will tell you that I was very disappointed. Last night I got on my list and was going through and checking everybody, looking for anybody who's been rejected, anybody who we need to follow up with. And I was so disappointed to see that Pope County had gone through and rejected people that had previously been accepted. And people who were valid, valid applications we submitted when the attorney general said they were valid, when the secretary of state said they were valid, but now they changed the rules after telling us 3 or 4 different times that they're legit. Then they change the rules and go, just kidding, nothing you ever did was legit, even though we told you it was. How is that real life? How is that the game we're playing now with voters? Because these are valid applications. And again, none of these people can go vote without showing their ID at the polls.
Right.
Right. And so, yeah, I'm a little pissed. I'm going to be checking into some things with Pope County. I hope that Pope County clerk is paying attention, or somebody tells her not to waste our fucking tax dollars here. Don't beep that. Not to waste our fucking tax dollars here in Pope County with a damn lawsuit.
Just trying to
Just to
kick
keep people
off the
from
rolls.
voting.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You're going to end up costing taxpayers money here for nothing. Just because you don't want to do your damn job. The whole job you're elected to is to get people registered to vote. I'm so pissed. And so Nathan, I nominate you to run for county clerk. Or whatever. But yeah, so that's what's been going on. It is very, very frustrating.
I nominate you to run for county clerk.
I don't live in this county.
Oh, that's right.
But you know what? It hasn't stopped JP's.
Mm-hmm,
There's a long history of it being
just
allowed. So maybe
rent a P.O. box and be like, this
you know
is my
what?
address.
I stay at the back of Joshua's. Have you?
Don't be telling people that.
I stay here, this studio. Look, I'm gonna take a nap after this, and now it's my domicile.
I mean, yeah.
It counts.
So, for real.
So yeah, it's been really frustrating.
There's lots of stuff going on with state law and legislators. This is my frustration, okay? Let me read a quote to you, because this just it blew my mind when I heard someone actually said this to a reporter. They were asked a state legislator was asked a question about a bill that they had previously had passed. And now they're coming back and trying to like fix things. He says, this is an almost embarrassing situation. I'm not sure we knew what we were doing when we passed the bill originally. But I know we're trying to do something. I'm not sure whether we're helping or hurting, but I'm going to support it because I know we need to do something.
The thing is, I know that he's talking about the crypto bill.
Yeah.
But there are so many
like
situations.
Like if you didn't know it was about the crypto bill, like you
the
could.
number of times I've heard similar comments, like I don't know, I haven't read it yet. Like,
which means that the foxes are running the hen house.
well, I mean, geez, look at Lawrence. Do you think everybody read that bill before it was ran in
The
committee the
1,000-page
next day?
bill, yeah.
Like, I mean, that's the point. If we keep people in the dark and just tell them what they're supposed to believe,
But we keep electing these idiots. Like, and again,
they're not idiots.
that
they
guy
know exactly
is an
what
idiot.
they're doing.
That guy, you don't say stuff like that if you don't want to at least look like an idiot. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe he's pretending to be an idiot, but that in and of itself
I don't know.
is frustrating
that
as hell.
particular guy may be an idiot,
Yeah.
but the people who are like running these things, the people who are leading the party, who are like leading
Yeah,
the
yeah.
charge on these, who are
Yeah.
telling people how they're supposed to vote, they are not idiots.
So
They know exactly what they're doing.
they ran these like fixes for the crypto bill through committee. And basically what that means is that they are going to give municipalities the ability to make rules about like industrial crypto mines. But you can't do anything about household crypto mines. So, and like you also can't, they still restricted it to an extent where it's like, if the city wanted to create like a decibel limit, you can't do that. They just have to be within a certain number of feet past residential areas, or in an industrial park area.
If you want to look for like the red flags of lobbyist interference, they're all there.
Oh no, 100% like that. It's so frustrating that our state legislature is ran by lobby groups. Like there's no question. There aren't even like recommended natural occurring bills like that just get through.
No, they're
Every
just written by
of the
lobbyists.
3,000 bills that they look at every year, every 2 years, they're all ran by lobbyists.
Most of them.
And like that's so frustrating because I didn't vote for lobbyists. I mean, I didn't vote for anybody that's there right now. But like, I mean, I did vote for Brienne compared to the alternative. But
Yeah. Same.
like the point is like we the people, regnant populace, is the lobbyists are not part of that. And it's so glaring that like in November we're gonna vote for people, some of us, because we weren't
If they didn't kick you
if
off.
they didn't kick you off the roll.
Yeah.
So like, but we're not voting. We're
You know what makes me look? I know we kind of moved away from the voter registration thing. But let me tell you something that just pisses me off. We had gone down to Camden High School and registered seniors that were getting ready to graduate. And we took their forms to the clerk, and the clerk said, I'm not going to accept these because they're an electronic signature. And so we were like, okay, fine. That's when we started getting the clarification. And they said that, no, they're solid. And the clerk still said she's not going to take them. So we went back, and we had the kids sign them all. Wet signatures. We took all their forms back and said, we need you to redo these.
right.
And we turned those in. And they rejected them too.
Why?
Because it's not the right form. It is the form.
It's exactly their form.
But it's, I don't know. Like, they're just making shit up. They just keep changing the rules. But so I have,
The rules are made up. The points
35
don't matter.
young people in Camden who have now tried
Twice.
2 and sometimes 3 times. We've had them go down and try again. And and they just reject them. It's like we took like 35 forms back with wet signatures, and one of them made it through. It's insane.
That's like not democracy. You know? Like, are we literally living in it? This is the bad place.
Yeah, it is the bad place. It is the bad
But not
place.
here. We're working hard to make this not the bad place.
Well, call your county clerk and tell her to accept the fucking registration forms. My God.
And call Waste Management.
Or call Nathan about waste management.
Yes. Call me.
I don't care what ward
Tell
you
me
live in. Just call
about
Nathan
your
about
waste
it.
management problems. I am happy to listen. I want to hear. And I will tell you what the solution is. Which is what I told you earlier. Like it will be here. You just might have to hold on to a couple of weeks of trash at a time.
Yep.
Well,
Yep. Mountains of trash.
who gets the golden ass this week?
I feel like it's a toss up between
The State Election Commission.
the House, the State House, and Waste Management. I feel like the golden ass list is quite long this week.
Yeah.
But next week, maybe we'll deserve it because we won't be here.
Right. We're taking a week off.
I'm not taking
Kristen's
a week off.
taking a week off.
I'm not taking a week off. I'm taking a week off the show. I'm going to be working my ass off next week, but I'm taking a week off the show.
Hey, my birthday is this weekend. So,
Aw.
Cinco de Mayo.
Everybody say happy birthday to Nathan. We were here for my birthday, so we got to say happy birthday to Nathan.
I should have been born on May the 4th because that's Star Wars Day.
Did we talk about the fact that the corner lot is happening?
I know, like, you just, like, I saw a thing the other day that was like, hey, remember when we said this was happening?
It's
Here's how
happening.
to make it happen. Like, so you can go to lotonthecorner.com and you can check out their page and on how to, like, let's get this project started. So check it out, lotonthecorner.com.
Yeah, this is our good friend Emily, who has started a lot of amazing businesses here in Russellville and is kind of crowdsourcing funding to get electricity for this area and try to make something really cool out of it. I think it would be really great. I hope folks will go on and check it out. Yeah, lotonthecorner.com. We can have some cool shit here in Russellville eventually.
Eventually.
We doing it?
Yeah. Like, listen, the brewery's coming. Like, it's going to be here.
Look, if you you can walk around now with a
With-
coffee and a gin and tonic. Because
Just double fit. Like, that's kind of like opposite, like downer, upper. Like, it just keeps you normal, man.
That's what I'm going for.
Okay.
That's where we're at right now. Whatever will keep me normal.
Well,
Somebody was telling me when I was down at Old Bank that during the eclipse that people were like loving the entertainment district.
yes.
That people were buying drinks to go down there. And I was like, man, I should have come downtown and just walked around and been like, you're welcome.
My wife walked around the whole time during the eclipse, and they would be like, "This is so nice," and Amanda would say, "This is the nicest thing my husband ever did for me."
It's true. It's true.
Secondary to if Target ever comes to Russellville, like that
If you
would
make
be,
that happen.
Yeah,
That's
like,
what you need to do
yes.
for your anniversary
Yeah.
is make Target come to Russellville. Like that's the real
Listen,
gift.
I am happy without a Target here. I'm not opposed to Target. I would like.
Shut your nasty
I
mouth.
would like,
Trader Joe's.
6 and 7 figure jobs in our community.
Okay, that's fair. But also Trader Joe's. $4 Chuck, man. $4 Chuck.
The median income in Russellville is $40,000 a year.
We do need to
Okay.
raise that.
You cannot afford Trader Joe's on $42,000 a year.
I don't know. They have really good deals.
Just
But no,
saying.
I feel you because
Just
nobody's
saying.
going to be like
Right.
loading up on flowers
Yeah.
and shit like they are in Little Rock. You walk into Trader Joe's in Little Rock and there's all these like bougie ass white women
Right.
at the front, like digging through the flowers for their fresh flowers at their house, and I'm just like, I'm here for the $5 wine.
Like, my kids are excited to go to fancy Walmart. In Bentonville, they have these, like, specialty Walmart, where it's, like, all the new stuff that comes out. And they're like, can we go to fancy Walmart?
Fancy
And it's like, oh, gosh, children, if you only knew.
I love it. I love it. All right.
That's it for this week, right?
Party in the park coming up.
Party in the park. You can go to the public library and you can get a badge that will allow you to take a lightsaber. It's like a lightsaber like badge, and you can bring your own lightsaber to Party in the Park for this weekend. Go to the Russellville Public Library, the Pope County Library, and get a badge so that you can take your lightsaber to Party in the Park.
There will be 8 people there with badges.
Me and my kids will be there with lightsabers.
The entire population of Russellville that owns your own fucking lightsaber go down.
Dude, if you don't own a lightsaber, my son could bring one for you.
How many does he have?
37 lightsabers. I mean, more lightsabers than I
He's
can
just gonna
count.
roll up with like a stack of badges.
Yes.
Like, what's
like
up?
he has
He'll
an
be like,
arsenal.
badge?
Like they are hung up. He has an arsenal of lightsabers. He's 5.
He's gonna defend your home. He's prepared.
Don't mess with my kid, okay?
All right.
So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this show. We really appreciate you for hanging out with us this week. Please share this video with your friends and let them know what's going on. And we'll see you guys in a couple of weeks.